Mona more than 24 years ago. She was working for another good friend of mine, Dr. Charles Tyler. She was his secretary then. And they fell in love. I know firsthand how hard it sometimes can be to have a working relationship with your spouse. Charles and Mona were an inspiration. They had a wonderful marriage. And Charles just loved to boast about how lucky man he was to have found Mona. Who could argue?
What is that woman doing here?
Mona joined me for a few days of relaxation and sightseeing.
Relaxation, you call it? Well, I call it out-and-out adultery.
Phoebe.
Look at her, dressed like some Locust Street strumpet.
That is enough.
Oh, enough is it? Transporting your little doxy halfway around the world, parading your illicit relationship.
I said that is enough.
Don't you dare raise your voice to me, Charles Tyler.
And don't you dare forget that you're a lady.
Oh, I am so relieved to know, Charles, that you can still tell the difference between me and your backstreet frump.
Look,
Charles, please. It's all right, really. Oh, yes, it's all right, really. You know who you are, don't you, you Jezebel? I want you to meet my very good friend, Professor Langley Wallingford.
How do you do, Professor?
How do you do, sir?
It's nice to meet you.
A pleasure, ma'am.
I understand that you're doing research on the Pine Valley First Families.
Yes, I'm just a dull, stuffy historian whose only passion is research.
You've been researching Mrs. Tyler, haven't you?
Yes,
Because my family, the Englishes, were the first inhabitants of Pine Valley, as anyone knows.
Oh, we do indeed. In fact, they were in the valley before even the pines.
Embarrassing, Langley and me, by trying to force our family to choose between whether they're going to attend your wedding or ours.
Oh, Phoebe, that is absurd. We didn't have any idea that you and the professor had set a date. It's just an unfortunate coincidence.
And then to add insult to injury, imagine having to hear it from that tawdry little wife of Chuck's. Oh, you two, you would do anything to spoil my first chance for happiness in years.
Mrs. Tyler, Charles is telling you the truth.
Well, you expect me to believe you? You probably came up with this scheme in the first place.
All right, Phoebe, that's enough. I won't have you talking to Mona that way.
Oh, now I can't tell you what a shock this is. It's so sudden. Charles never had any heart trouble that I knew of.
Well, at least he died without suffering, and we can certainly be thankful for that.
Well, he worked too hard. When he retired, he should have just spent more time and leisure instead of throwing himself back into that emotional maelstrom.
Charles died doing the work he loved the most, Phoebe. And I'm very grateful for that. If he could have chosen, this is what he would have wanted.
Were you able to see him before?
Yes. Joe called me immediately, and I got there, and I was able to take his hand and tell him how very much I loved him.
Oh, Mother, don't do this. Don't talk about this.
I'm all right,
too much.
I'm all right.
I understand your grief, Mona. I certainly do. Of course, I had Charles during his prime years when he was at his best and when he was so very happy.
Well, of course, he was even happier in his later years, Mrs. Wallingford, when he married my mother.
Just over a year ago, Mona faced her greatest challenge. It was cancer. But she fought it with her trademark combination of courage and strength and dignity. And she won her battle. And the fruits of her victory were the added months she had to live. And she used that time visiting her family, helping others, even taking some time off to enjoy herself. I wish Mona was still with us, but I think the best way we can honor her memory is by making an effort to live our lives the way she lived hers, with kindness and sincerity.
Phoebe Wallingford, what do you think you're doing?
I have a few things to say about Mona Kane. Most of you here today know a lot about my history with Mona Kane, Tyler. Much of it wasn't pretty, granted, but there was far more to it than just grist for the gossip mill. Mona Kane married my husband. We were adversaries, but underneath we were both women. And though it took a while, in time, I learned to have respect for Mona. My only regret is that it took this for me to admit it publicly.
Well done, Mona.
As far back as I can remember, Mona's been around. When I was a kid, she and Grandfather loved the games at my birthday party. When I applied to college, she typed my applications. And when Haley and I opened our PI firm, she was one of our first clients. Through it all, she was always there.
Erica, I've seen you hurt so many times. Now, I know you're not going to like what I have to say, but I'll say whatever is necessary to keep you from making your life more miserable than it already is.
Mother, my life is not miserable.
In the last few months, I've seen you lose Bianca and Travis and Jackson, and plus that, I've seen Adam Chandler trying to run your social life and your business life.
Well, okay, so I've had a few problems.
You've had monumental losses, and I'm sure that you're turning to Charlie as a reaction to all of this.
Oh, now, Mother, that is ridiculous.
I know you hate to be alone. He's been good company, and I'm sure he's been very charming company. But you don't love him.
Yes, I do.
Some people just don't enjoy their own company. You're one of them.
Oh, now, see, that's where you don't know me as well as you think you do. I love my own company. I prefer my own company to anyone else's, especially right now, Mother. I do not need a man to be happy.
You certainly married enough of them.
Do not cloud the issue with ancient history. I am an adult now, Mother. Yes, I have made some mistakes, but I have learned from them. I survived, and I'm proud of that. Don't you see that? I'm proud of all of that. Me, just me, Erica Kane. It's enough. It's more than enough, because my opinion of myself is what counts most.
Some women were created not to be alone, and you're one of those.
Well, we're all alone, Mother.
Happiness right here inside, honey. That's what counts.
Oh, Mother, you only say that because you never had any dreams. You never had any goals beyond trying to break 100 words in shorthand. I mean, we're different.
Erica, I've been alone a few years now. I get up every morning and I go to a job that I really and truly do love. And at night I go to bed alone, with only Charles's pillow and some memories to keep me company.
Oh, Mother.
You know, goals and dreams don't snuggle up with you in the moonlight.
You miss him.
Oh. Sweetheart, I just really want you to be happy.
Well, I am happy.
I never imagined such a wonderful ending to this story.
Mother, for heaven's sakes, don't call today an ending.
You know, we have quite a legacy here. 3 generations of strong women. And you're right. It's not an ending. We've only just begun. Oh, the whole future looks so promising.
Don't do this, Mother. Please don't start. I mean, if you make us cry, we're just going to have to do our makeup all over again.
I just want your daughters to realize how lucky they are.
Thank you, Mom.
Look at us. Look at us. 3 generations of Kane women. Isn't that remarkable?
Yes, isn't it?
Mona was the type of person who really gave of herself. Not just to me and her family, but to everybody. I mean, if she was here today, she'd be holding everybody's hand, bucking us up, telling us it was all going to get better. She was that kind of person. And I'll never forget her.
You're not getting lost in the shuffle here, Kendall. How would you like to come over and stay with me for a few days? Till things cool down here.
That's really sweet, thank you. But I think it's best that I stick around in case I'm needed.
Okay. But if it gets too hot, you know my door's always open.
I'll keep that in mind.
Kendall, what the hell are you doing